Hi folks, it's Silver Dave, and I'm back! And I want to talk to you about $12,000 an ounce silver! Yes, I'm serious. No, this is not a joke. I'm going to explain why and how in this video. Stay tuned, we're going to talk about it. Okay, folks. So, I want to talk to you about this prediction. I'm going to explain how it works. I'm going to explain why. So, in order to get into this, we're going to need to do some calculations. So I want to give you a moment to get your pen and your pencil and your calculator to go ahead and grab it. Go ahead and pause the video, get the things you need. I'll wait. Okay, now welcome back. Now that you got your stuff, I want to really quickly ask you for a favor, and that is that right now we don't know if we are being censored by YouTube or if it's just the algorithm doing what it's doing. And so in order to get the data so we can better understand what's happening, I'd like to ask you to please do a few simple things, and that is to please click on the subscribe and the notification bell, and then comment that you did that, so that we can see if the comments, people saying they did that, and then those actions are in alignment with each other. And if you want to go the extra distance and click like on the video, we do appreciate that. Thank you for your help on this. And now let's go on forth with this video. This prediction. First, let's take a look at a few different factors. We see an announcement that talks about $500 billion being allocated to build giant data processing centers in order to support AI efforts to do massive calculations. Now, aside from how I feel about the politics of that and whether I think that that's going to be good or bad, I'm not going to get into that in this video, even though I do have some feelings about it. And those of you who know me, you might know and guess where I feel about a lot of this stuff. But we're not going to focus on that here due to the sensitive nature of that discussion. Instead, I want to just talk about the silver-related factors. And so, $500 billion to build these data processing centers. Now, what is the main ingredients in these processors? Any guesses? If you guessed silica and silver, you guessed right. And gold. But silver by quantity much more than gold. And of course silica even more. But silica is basically one of the most abundant things on the planet. Silver and gold, as you know, not one of the most abundant things on the planet. In fact, some of the least abundant things on the planet. Now, here we go, it's time for calculators. First, open up my calculator. Now, if I should have done it when I told you to get your calculator out, I should have got my calculator out. Instead, I was just standing there. Man, you guys should have said something to me. Why did you let that happen? Okay, so first, I want to talk for a moment about industrial use silver. We have to put all this together, so I have to lay the groundwork. In 2023, industrial silver consumed approximately 640 million ounces of silver. And that was approximately 50% of the silver that was produced that year. And so 55% of the silver produced each year is roughly how much is consumed by industrial demand. And so with that being said, the rest of the silver goes into coins and bars and jewelry and investment holdings and bank holdings. And so that is like the remainder of the silver. But if 55% of the silver each year roughly is used for industrial, and let me just add that that industrial means solar panels, computer chips, So now $500 billion that they want to spend on these data processing centers. Now, there's different estimates as to how much silver it would take to make those data processing centers. But some people suggest that it would take approximately 750 million ounces of silver to make that $500 billion 20 different factories. Now, if you're good at math or you like math, you're probably already saying to yourself, wait a second, Dave, that's more silver than is left over after the already being consumed 55% of the silver produced. And so if they produce about 640 million ounces of silver, and that's 55% of the silver produced, and it's going to take over 700 million ounces of silver to make these buildings and factories, that means there isn't enough silver to do it. So where's that silver going to come from? Now, that brings us to the next piece of the puzzle. Paper to silver ratio. Right now, the commodities futures markets are selling approximately 380 ounces of silver on paper for every 1 ounce of silver produced. And so if the silver consumption was to exceed the silver being produced, then I might suggest that it could pop the paper silver bubble. Let me say that again. If guys using silver, if industry demands more silver, physical silver, than there is available physical silver, but yet the futures markets are selling 380 times as much silver as there is available, then that silver needed could pop the paper silver bubble. If the paper silver bubble pops, I have been saying for years that the silver price could become the equivalent of the ounces on paper owed times the current spot price of silver. And so these guys have to fulfill their contracts somehow. But if the price of silver is going up sharply and they don't have any silver, they only have paper promises for silver, then they can't deliver, and then they leave a wake of angry, unfulfilled investors. And those angry, unfulfilled investors, they want money. They want what they are owed, but they're not going to get it. And now, with that being said, how is it possible that I could suggest $12,000 per ounce silver? How could I say such a thing? Well, I'm going to tell you. If I take the 380 ounces of silver on paper for every 1 ounce of silver produced, and I multiply it by $31 an ounce, which is roughly the spot price right now of silver, I get $11,780. Let me say that again. 380 ounces of silver on paper for every 1 ounce of silver produced. We take the 380 and we multiply it by 31, which is roughly the spot price, and we get $11,780 silver. Now, I'm not saying this is absolutely going to happen, but I also think it is very possible. And I think that the silver prices and silver has been massively undervalued for a decade and a half at least. And when we look back at history and historical information, whether it's the book Art of War by Sun Tzu, if you've read Art of War by Sun Tzu, you'll notice that there is a passage where he explains that the cost of raising an army of 100,000 men with chariots, weapons, tools, and basic supplies such as paint and glue will cost the sum of 1,000 ounces of silver. 100,000 men, 1,000 ounces of silver, that's 1/100th of an ounce of silver per soldier with equipment per day. So when you look at that number, the 100th of an ounce of silver, we're talking about what today is 30 cents worth of silver. And 30 cents worth of silver today pays a highly trained soldier with chariot, tools, equipment, glue, and paint. 30 cents worth of silver. Doesn't make sense. Sounds to me like the silver price is not right. And I think that's very true. And I think that the very powerful people at the very high levels have done this. They've accumulated a lot of silver and gold. They've done it at low prices while they've had the wool over our eyes, and they've had a fake silver price while they are controlling the movement of it. With that being said, the other piece is that after Weimar Germany financial collapse, people bought entire buildings in downtown Germany with 20 ounces or 30 ounces of silver. So when I say $11,000, almost $12,000 silver, you might think I'm crazy, but sometimes you might sound crazy when you're just ahead of the time. And that people, Galileo or famous scientists that pointed something out before it was widely recognized, were seen as crazy until people found out they were right. And so with that being said, that's my case for $12,000 silver coming soon. We're going to see if it happens. I'm stacking silver as hard as I can. I'm stacking silver as hard as I can, but not just big bars, but also smaller denominations of silver, also some collector silver just for fun, and also barter silver, little pieces for barters and trade so I can still buy stuff regardless of the condition of the financial system or internet access. That is all I have to say for this video. We want to keep it short. I hope that this video reached you well. If you want to make a comment or tell us how you feel about this information, please go ahead and put in the comments. Tell me how you feel. Do you think this is possible? Is it crazy? Is it smart? What do you think? Let us know. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, I'm Silver Dave at local Silver Mint in Ware, New Hampshire, reminding you to stack it up! Oh yeah! All right, folks, welcome back. Now that you have your stuff, I want to ask you for a favor. We are concerned that YouTube might be censoring us. And so, if I kindly ask that you please subscribe, and click the notification bell, and comment that you did that so that we can see the data and see if in fact the people who said that they subscribed actually subscribed, because we think that YouTube might be unsubscribing people. The past month our videos have gotten record low views. Record. We've not gotten a video so low in a year or two as every video for the past month. So I'd kindly ask that you please do those things so we can get the data. Thank you so much, and now let's carry on with this video.